Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. Welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla. What are you doing, I hear you ask? What are you doing out here in this weird forest biome? Where on earth is the savannah that we are used to here on Decidedly Vanilla? Well, my friends, today we are starting the museum project, and this is the future site of the museum. This very crafting table here, in fact, is at minus 1150 positive 800, and that is going to be the site of the main gate to the museum. That is the plan, at least, because I wanted to stage the museum in a fairly normal biome, and normal is a kind of weird way of putting it, but it's mainly because of the grass color, let's be honest, because leaves and the grass and the biome colors in general look as standard as people expect them to in forest biomes and plains biomes specifically. In the savannah, you've got this kind of like yellowy, browny color to the grass and the leaves, which I've been kind of getting around with birch leaves. But in forests and on plains, and this forest biome here actually comes out onto a plains biome, these are the places where grass is the color people expect. The color people think of when you say Minecraft grass to them, they think of this kind of like fairly bright green color. So that's the idea. The idea is to have as neutral, as ordinary, as standard a biome color as possible so that it doesn't affect what I'm going to be doing with the build, because I want this to look really, really nice. This is probably going to be the biggest project I've ever done in Minecraft. I started a museum when I used to play on Xbox a while ago, and it was pretty huge. It took me ages. Obviously, I was only doing things as a hobby instead of doing things like I do now. Well, it's still kind of a hobby, to be honest, but it's a bit more concerted, and I'm sharing it with you guys so I kind of have a reason to keep it going instead of just, taking things one step at a time. We're going to be making some serious progress. So this is going to be where the main gate is, and it's going to all be out in that direction towards the plains biome. If you come out the other side of here, there is a desert. I think there's some savanna over there. This bit in front of the main gate is probably going to be some kind of large garden, like a kind of more structured garden with hedges and possibly like a maze, some water features, a driveway leading up to the main gate, that kind of thing. And that's the plan. But over there we have desert, which means weird biome colors if we used it, but it also means we have sand nearby for access to glass, because this thing is probably going to take a lot of glass. And the savanna over there is going to be a nice source of acacia, and we've got some stuff. I've got some stuff planned. I have some things in mind. It's going to be a fairly classical sort of style of build. I'm not saying classical in like the classic Roman style or anything like that. It's probably not going to be all quartz pillars and everything, but it's going to be, the majority of it is going to be kind of stone, but like a more kind of contemporary style, but not modern. I don't know. It's really weird. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's going to be a really, really interesting build. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be huge because I don't just plan to have the basic plan is to have one of every block and item in the game, put it on display, and just have collected everything we possibly can in multiplayer Minecraft, which is obviously going to be a bit of a job and involves us kind of beating the dragon, going to the end cities, involves maybe somebody lending me the dragon egg to go in the museum if somebody in particular wants to keep it, then we can have it like on loan occasionally or something. I don't know. Museums tend to do that with exhibits. They tend to loan materials from other people and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Maybe we can even have displays of various people's like weapons or items that are important to them, that kind of thing. I don't know. But the idea behind this is I'm going to be building it to have exhibition rooms around the place that aren't just going to be for a specific block. It's more going to be about the mechanics of Minecraft, maybe specific mobs and how they interact with stuff. There's going to be exhibitions about the Nether, probably the End as well. I thought to myself it would be really cool, hello zombie, I thought it would be really cool if somehow a stronghold or something ended up underneath here. Like if somehow we built this on a site that led to an end portal, because then it would be really easy to have an end portal exhibition and lead to an exhibition in the end. But ultimately, I can build a minecart track that leads to the nearest end portal or something like that. I can do something like that if we want to have an exhibition about the end. So I'm going to start setting things up over here. I still have bits and pieces to do over in Farhaven, so I'm definitely going to be heading to and from there. I also need to get myself a horse. Now, I've been wanting a donkey for a while, and I have actually gone out and got myself a donkey from near KB's place where he's building his tree farm. There were a couple of donkeys around there, but the donkey I have is not particularly fast and doesn't jump particularly high. And I'm not sure if donkey stats are different to horses. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be roughly the same, or they can have the same range of stats. I've just had poor luck with donkeys. So I'm probably going to end up adopting one of these horses from around here, taming it and using it to ride back and forth between here and Farhaven until I get a nether portal set up. There are a couple of caves around here I can explore and mine for resources if I need to. I'm going to be dashing back and forth between my Farhaven house and here for some things, but I don't want to just drag all of my inventory from over there over here, and I want to have a bit of an inventory going on here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this project develops. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff with it off camera today, probably get designing the main entrance a little bit more, because obviously right now it's just a couple of bushes marking the spot and a crafting table and stuff. But yes, this is a site that's out to the west of Farhaven. I was considering out to the east, but it didn't look like it was going to be big enough for what I had in mind out there. So this time around, we're going to do things in a massive, massive area. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. I'm going to get on with it. I'll catch up with you guys in a second. Welcome back, folks. Behold the entrance. I feel like that's something people don't really say all that much. Behold! Behold the entrance. This is the result of a couple of hours' work, just in terms of design and rebuilding. And, you know, now that I have this kind of there, I could probably rebuild this again in about half the time. But yeah, it's coming together pretty well. Using coal blocks was kind of an idea that occurred to me right after I stopped recording, and I thought it was going to be a little bit too expensive to use them as a building block, but then I went mining with a Fortune 3 pickaxe, and now I have more coal blocks than I actually needed several times over. So I'll probably end up using those elsewhere in the structure. They've got this really nice kind of marbled texture. It's like using black marble almost, which you don't really see that often in the other blocks in this game. So I think it'd be kind of cool to have that occur elsewhere. It's the kind of texture I'd almost like to see from quartz or something, you know, just having a little bit more interesting textural variation in it appeals to me. So there's that. There's a bit of red wool in there. I dyed a couple of sheep in the local area, but I have them kind of roaming free right now. Should probably actually start a sheep farm at some point just so I can have enough wool for other areas of this. I really like the way these kind of fences and walls came together at the front there. There's a lot of depth in there. I think those add a bit of 3D kind of element to it. And yeah, the whole thing the top of it looks a little bit like Krusty the Clown, like with the kind of tufts of hair or ears, or, you know, Hyrule Legend of Zelda style ears coming off the top, or even a little bit like Yoda. But I like it. I think it's looking really good so far, and this is just indicative of the overall style of the larger structure. I also have a horse, by the way. His name is Tugboat. I asked my wife what would be a good name for a horse. She said, "What kind of horse?" I said, "A grey one." She said, "What's it going to do?" I said, "Transport." She went, "Tugboat." And I thought it was a funny enough name that I just went, yeah, let's call the horse that. I have a donkey back at the house as well, but I do mean to give that one a name at some point. But I kind of want to breed the donkey so it's a little bit faster. So there we go. So this is going to be the style we're going with, kind of mainly stone brick, a lot of different sort of block usage, accent colors, things like that are going to be used throughout the structure, but this is only going to be the main entrance. There's probably going to be kind of steps going up inside, like the majority of the structure is going to be a little bit higher, because I think the plains biome behind here is, generally speaking, around this sort of height. It's around Y69, Y70, and down there it's at more like sea level, more like kind of 64, 65. So we will kind of need to flatten a lot of this out, get rid of a lot of the trees, make way for the larger structure as a whole. But I'm liking the way this is coming together so far. Really excited to actually get started on this project. I've been thinking about it for a while, but it just feels so large on the surface that it's kind of put me off doing it. And I kind of wonder if that's a symptom of other people's ways of playing as well. I'm going to head back to town, going to head back to Farhaven to check up on a couple of things. And yeah, I wonder if that's symptomatic of anything. Like, have you guys ever started a project or wanted to start a project but felt like you were held back just by the size of it? Do you feel like if the project just seems too overwhelming to you, are you more likely to quit? Because I've done that a couple of times with things. I've started on something really big, and I've got discouraged just because of how big I think the project is going to be. Like, it turns out to be a lot bigger than I expected, and that just kind of puts me off. But I don't know. I imagine that's something other people experience as well. Let me know in the comments if that kind of applies to you. Specifically in the context of Minecraft as well, I'm kind of interested in, because I'd be interested to know how you guys have overcome that, if you've kind of come to terms with how big the project is, or if you manage it in kind of smaller chunks. Those of you guys who are builders, let me know. Anyway, I'm going to head back to Farhaven just to check up on a couple of things. I will meet you guys there. And we're back, and the first thing I'm going to do is go sleep, because this is a troubling time of night. This is the time when all of the mobs start to spawn, and Tugboat is just going to have to wait here in the garden. I don't have a lead with me. I did ask on the Discord chat if anybody had any slime, because I've not acquired any slime on this server yet. So Kane lent me a single slime ball so that I could make myself a lead, and of course I've left it in the chests over by the museum site. Rumi is here. I took him out of his little clay shelter kind of thing. I just put him standing in here in the fences, and I think that's just a little bit nicer, even if he doesn't get to roam around as much. And I kind of wonder, if you take the minecarts off the rails, does that encourage the villagers to stay in them? I haven't really hung around here long enough to find out, but it would be interesting to see if he's still in the minecart after a little while. So before Tugboat wanders off completely, I'm going to go and check out the business around here. Yeah, okay, he's still there. Good, good. I assume Tugboat is a boy. I don't think a girl could be named Tugboat. I don't know, maybe they could. There's definitely some cats on, like, Instagram and stuff where people have named them things like Princess Dirtbike, and they've got sort of slightly obscure names like that. Now, oh, we have 1 gold in the beach shop. Thank you very much, whoever that was. I think it might have been KB on one of his streams, came by and didn't have any iron on him, so I think he donated some gold instead. But thank you very much, KB. Much appreciated. Going to quickly check on the fishy business to see if anyone has left an order in yonder book, because nope, doesn't look like it. I've erased that order that turned out to belong to the Devious Wither, because mostly because we fulfilled it, but also because, you know, we don't necessarily want business with Eldritch Abominations to be on the books, do we? So that's the fishy part of the fishy business kind of taken care of. What else did... Oh, yes, that was it. That was the other thing. I'm wandering over to KB's General Store, which is looking pretty swish these days, by the way. It's looking very nice over here. I will actually show you this, and I might take a trip for you guys over to Kane's Temple, because he's been working on that a little bit in his spare time. But look at this. I really like the design in here. He's done a really good job of getting these kind of sections in here, having the chests in the floor like this. It looks very stylish. It does look really cool. So props to KB for this one. Obviously, he's got the rest of this mountain to work on. He's probably got a few different projects on the go for when he streams. If you haven't caught up with any of KB's streams, then make sure you do, because he streams pretty much every day, and he's always very entertaining to watch and listen to. I like to have him on in the background occasionally when I'm just building stuff on this server and he's streaming from his other server, Buddy's Craft or something like that. So Kane's Temple is out here, and it was raided a little while ago, I think probably by Jeff, but Kane decided to set up his home in here, and gosh, I don't know if hunger has been adjusted so that it depletes slightly faster even if you've got full health, but I find myself running out of food more and more often. Maybe I just do too much running around, I don't know. But it's difficult to tell from in here, but Kane has made a couple of modifications to this temple, which look really nice. Like, he's got this kind of balcony up here where he can have a little bedroom, and I'm not sure how he gets... Oh, maybe he gets down into the temple through here. That seems logical. He's got a couple of little doorways into here. And in the center of this, he's kind of changed the layout of it a little bit. He's taken up the floor, obviously, and has several levels to it. And he's been taking advantage of the new functionality of pistons, the way they interact with entities, and it barely looks like we've gone anywhere because we haven't gone anywhere. Maybe the downward one is a little bit more difficult to activate properly than the upward one. But yeah, it will actually take you down a level by standing on this. If you get kind of dropped into the piston, it will just kind of... There you go. It'll pull you down a level each time. The upward one works even better, because look at that. It's so quick. All you have to do is press the button there. You get whisked up, and in no time at all... Oh, you get a little bit of damage occasionally if you get pulled up into the wrong block. But yeah, you just have to push the button a couple of times, and you're back at the top. That's not working for me. I'm not the best demonstrator of these things, but there you go. You're back at the top like that. Those kind of elevators, really interesting to me. Might have to try getting one of those on the go in one of my builds in future. Maybe we can install some kind of elevator system in the museum. I don't know, but considering it's going to be quite a large build, it would probably have quite tall floors. So it'd probably end up being a couple of pistons in order to get us where we want to go. Hello, zombie. I hear you down there somewhere. I've been on the lookout for spawners in the area. I've been doing a lot of caving in the area near the museum, but I have not yet found any. But it would be absolutely fantastic. You know, I was saying about having a stronghold down there or something? That's kind of wishful thinking, but if there was a spawner down there, you could turn that into an exhibit, couldn't you? That's the kind of thing I'm looking at doing outside of just displaying all of the blocks, you know? It would just be kind of cool to have that kind of thing around. But that is going to do it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and checking out the progress of the museum. I will definitely keep you guys updated because that's going to be my big project from now on. Now I've built this house here at Farhaven, I've got a couple of shops on the go. Probably going to come back and build the Adobe stuff from time to time. I like the way this is all turning out, but I kind of want to have a use for a couple of these shops before I build any more because there's still 3 that are kind of unoccupied. So that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching Decidedly Vanilla. My name has been Pixlriffs. Please leave a like on today's episode if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.